Marty's place is a very special place to me. There really was a dog named Marty. He was with us for a very brief period of time, but during that time we really came to think about the plight of older dogs, and we wanted to do our part to help save a few dogs that might be in need.
Marty's place is not a shelter. It is a sanctuary. So the dogs that come here have come here for no fault of their own.
Based on whatever circumstances those owners might be facing, their world has just been turned upside down. So when they come to us, they're literally in survival mode. And so we try to make that transition as easy as we can for them. But during that time, it's just wonderful to see their personalities blossom and see how they become comfortable with us as their new caregivers, and see the bonds that form not only between the staff and the dogs, but also our volunteers and the dogs.
The thing that keeps me here is the dogs, because I love every single one of them, and I refer to them as the rescues that don't live with me. This is such a happy place for me. When I pull in, as I see the building approaching, as I'm coming down the driveway, my heart just fills up with love because they're so blessed to have this and so many people that love them so much.
We have a staff day that runs about 14 hours, and that is a jam-packed day. We start about 7 in the morning. We go through an intensive cleaning routine. We go through our first morning walks. And throughout the day, we have different schedules for different dogs in terms of medication, feeding. We have a routine in the afternoon where we go through a specific walking exercise, and then the dogs go back to their rooms for dinner time. They come back out into the open spaces for the remainder of the evening until it's bedtime. And then all of our dogs get bedtime treats when they go back in their rooms for the end of the night. Here at the sanctuary, our objective is to make this as much of a home-like environment as we can. We want the dogs to know that they are loved and well cared for, and this will always be their home for as long as they need it. Our objective is to provide a forever home for our dogs, whether that be here long-term in the sanctuary or where we can, we do try to find an adoptive home for our dogs.
I think that Doreen is one of the most amazing people I've ever met. Her only goal is to give these animals the happiest life that they could have. And when we get a new one, they just become a part of the family. And it trickles down from the top because Doreen sets that standard for us.
Our family really does consist of the dogs, the volunteers, and the staff. They truly feel passionate about being here. And everybody goes the extra mile to do what they can for the sake of our residents. We certainly have our share of emotional moments here at the sanctuary. I get emotional when we have an adoption. For me, it's almost like sending your child off to kindergarten for the first day or sending them off to college. As much as you get to a point where you realize it's time to say goodbye, nonetheless, it can be very emotional. And not only for myself or for the staff, but all the volunteers that truly come to view these dogs as part of their family as well. In addition to our adoption program, we do have our foster program. We also have a swim program for our own residents as well as for external clients. Dogs come and swim with us for a variety of reasons, to include joint disease, recovery from surgeries, neurologic issues, as well as many other issues. One of our special programs is our outreach to senior communities. Sadly, we had to suspend that due to COVID, and we look to re-engage with that. But it's a special program for us. It provides enrichment for our dogs, where they get to interact with the individuals from the senior communities. And also the residents of those communities have their opportunity to interact with our dogs. When 2020 started, we had great momentum coming off of 2019. We had a full slate of fundraising activities and events planned. And shortly after the year started, all of that came to an abrupt halt. Following COVID protocols, we reduced our operations significantly, and we're still at a point where we are trying to balance between the number of dogs we have in the sanctuary, as well as the number of volunteers and others that we have in the sanctuary, because overall we're trying to maintain the most healthy environment for everybody in the sanctuary, our residents, as well as staff, volunteer, and visitors.
Rescuing a senior dog can be very rewarding, and it's something that people don't realize until you do it. These dogs, they love us already, but if you take them home and give them a home, they show their love in endless ways.
It is hard work, but there's those little rewards that you experience during the course of every day that remind you what you're doing for the dog and what these dogs do for you.